Hey guys. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I was MC on a presentation where I was interviewing a civil engineer. And I was asking him questions like, what does a day in the life of look like? Or how can we as consultants better work with you? Or what does the future look like in terms of AI and the influence it will have over your industry? Anyway, one of the questions I asked him was, what is one thing you wish people knew about your role that would change or improve the way that everyone worked with you? Now, his response in that moment was, that the game is constantly changing. Now, I am paraphrasing here, but basically he said that the rules and requirements are constantly evolving and changing and improving, and what we did 6 months ago is not what we're doing now. And I was like, oh, damn, that is good. That is town planning to a T. I am stealing that. Anyway, fast forward a couple of days ago, I was having a chat to a client. We received an approval that had an amendment in red on it. Now, this amendment in red, I'm going to be honest, was a little bit of a surprise. We weren't kind of expecting it. It's okay. We can work around it. We can get it reversed, all of that sort of stuff. Not an issue. But anyway, the client naturally sat there and went, doesn't council alert you of these changes or basically give you a heads up that they're going to change their interpretation or their way of doing things in advance? I was like, no, like that would make my life so much easier if they could do that. The reality is we lodge a bucket load of applications each year, more specifically within the residential space. So as a result, we can normally see the rumblings on the horizon, the warning signs ahead. And as a result, we can normally warn people about them. Like so many of our videos or our posts that we put up on social media are about the changes that we're starting to see. And one great example, a couple of weeks ago, I did a post that was talking about street trees and crossovers. And I was like, warning, alert, 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 council's starting to change from 2 meters to 3 meters. I've had a few people since then go, but hold on a sec, I just got a 2 meter one. And I'm like, yeah, it hasn't filtered through everywhere. We're just seeing those signs on the horizon, be warned. So yeah, normally, because we lodge so many applications within this specific space, we can see the signs on the horizon, we can warn you guys, and we're ahead of the game. But we're not immune to everything. Like, we're not perfect. Every now and then, like with this job, something comes out and we go, oh, okay, didn't see that one coming. So anyway, I thought, hey, why don't in this week's video topic, week's video, if I get my words out, I need coffee this morning. Why don't we focus on this whole topic? And more specifically, why don't we answer the question of why? Why doesn't council give everyone a heads up as to when they're going to make these changes? Now, when I say these changes, I'm not talking about the changes to the black and white rules or requirements within the planning scheme. That has to go through a full-on advertised process. Like, that's massive. What I'm talking about is the interpretations or the grey areas within those rules. So, why doesn't council announce it? I probably think there's two key reasons. First and foremost, if they were to announce it in advance, people like myself would be singing from the rooftops saying, yo guys, get your applications in advance before this change happens. So I'll use demolition as an example. It's not an accurate or technically correct example because technically if you're going to expand the demolition protection across the city, you have to go through the formal process and change the wording in the scheme. But I am going to use demolition as an example because I think it's something that people will understand and relate to and connect with. So for argument's sake, let's say council is going to suddenly protect any house up until 1960 within the traditional building character overlay. So at the moment it's pre-47. What if they were to expand that to pre-1960? People like myself would be reaching out to every man and his dog and going, yo, you need to get your building approval into the certifier for demolition now, ASAP. Lock that stuff in. And then within 2 years before that approval lapses, whatever the time frame is, you need to demolish that house. Get it gone. Because we all know that demolishing a house and building new is so much cheaper than renovating and all of that sort of stuff. So in the interest of saving people money, I'd be out there going, look guys, you just got to know about this change coming and you got to act quickly. That means council would go backwards before they go forwards and they would lose a massive amount of their protect or the houses that they're trying to protect. Or another example, like I'm looking at a palm tree now in front of me. Let's say council suddenly decide that palm trees, they're a national icon, or not a national icon, a city icon. We've got to preserve every palm tree on every property across the city. Obviously, I'd be out there saying to everyone, guys, get the chainsaw out, chop that stuff down because it's going to, assuming it's going to restrict your options in the future, you want it gone now type thing. So yeah, we'd end up losing, 80% of our trees overnight, which would be ridiculous. So yeah, that is probably the main reason as to why council doesn't announce from the rooftops that they're going to make these interpretation changes in advance because, yeah, they would just see mass panic, hysteria, applications getting lodged, all of that sort of stuff to bypass these rules. Now, the second thing is we as an industry have a reputation for whinging and moaning and bitching and complaining to council to no end. Like, we give them a very hard time. So if the industry was to find out in advance that council was going to make some sort of interpretation change, we would be whinging to like no one's business. We'd be complaining, we'd be going to the media, going to the politicians, all of that sort of stuff, trying to stop those changes from coming into effect. Now, despite popular belief, council does not have unlimited resources. Like, they are very tight. They're a business at the end of the day. COVID's affected them just like everyone else. They don't have the excess money to spend on man hours to battle or fight or counter the negativity, the whinging, the moaning, the bitching, all of that sort of stuff that comes. So in terms of resource allocation, when you look at it, Business 101, why would you pump a bucket load of resources into dealing with people whinging about something that's going to happen? Just wait until it happens and then deal with it then. It's a much better allocation of resources, let's just say. So that's probably another reason. There's a few other reasons, but they're the two key ones that stand out at me. Like I said, panic applications where people just go and try to push things through, and an allocation of resource type issue. Now, there was another point that I was going to make. We talked about that. Nah, I've forgotten it. Can't remember. Can't have been important. Let's just leave it at that. I think that covers off everything I want to talk about. As I always say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got three. Number one, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site-specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number two, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number three, what was my number three? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all. Bye.